Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
And my name is Fred. I am half a hockey fan.
Good morning, Fred. How are you?
Oh, boy, I'm tired.
Yeah, you've been up a really long time.
I have been, yeah.
That's okay. I've got enough energy for both of us.
Perfect, yeah. You might need to carry this one. I might not make sense. I might be super funny. I don't know.
You know, it could be either way. It's a crapshoot.
It generally is with me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm energized because we just watched a little bit of hockey history happen.
We're getting set up and something small happened in
just a small blip in the history of the NHL.
Yeah.
And hockey in general.
And what was that?
Alex Ovechkin officially broke Wayne Gretzky's goal record.
We've got an exclusive right here.
Yes, I'm sure it's breaking news, and anybody who's listening to the podcast is hearing this for the very first time right now.
Yeah, no, this is our first exclusive content.
Yeah, no, literally we were sitting at the podcast table getting set up and ready to record, and I had the game up on my phone, and I was like, hold up, we got to watch this. So
yeah,
it was pretty cool.
So it happened.
It did happen. I actually was going to open the news segment with talking about the Capitals because they had a very busy week.
We've been watching them all week.
We have been. So I figure let's talk about that and then we can get into the goal. How does that sound?
All right. Sounds good. Sully agrees.
Sully also agrees with that. He thinks that's a great idea. So on Monday, the Washington Capitals signed Ryan Leonard to a 3-year ELC entry-level contract. Leonard was drafted 8th overall by the Caps in 2023, and he's been playing with Boston College, who was eliminated from the men's NCAA tournament on Saturday. The Caps were playing the Bruins in Boston on Tuesday, so they came in a day early. Leonard signed his contract with the team on Monday, and then went out for dinner with the team on Monday night after Alexander Ovechkin texted him and invited him. And then on Tuesday morning, he joined the team for practice, and he made his NHL debut that night. So, you know, just a casual, regular day for a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
That's wild, right?
I'm pretty sure that's wild. I don't think that's a common occurrence for these ELC signers.
It's pretty extraordinary, even for that, even by those standards.
Yeah. And so he's not going to graduate, I guess. He's just going into the NHL.
He's going straight to the NHL.
Okay.
Because I think he was a junior, I want to say.
Sure.
So I believe. I'd have to double check that. Sometimes people play through the end of their senior year, but sometimes it's like, they're like, okay, this is time. I'm ready.
Sometimes Ovechkin texts you.
And is like, hey, want a party?
Yeah. And you're like, you know what?
Cool.
Bet. That's what the kids say, right?
I'm pretty sure they do. We'd have to ask our daughter, and then she would be like, oh my God, please stop talking to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good night. I guess the Caps won that game 4-3. They played the Bruins in Boston.
I mean, I could beat the Bruins.
It's true. You probably could. The next night, the Capitals went to Raleigh to play the Hurricanes, and the Canes took an early lead, which frustrated the Caps. Our friend Logan Stankoven scored a goal, which was really nice.
We love that.
Tom Wilson was threatening everybody, as he does sometimes.
He was out of control.
He was. Sometimes it's really funny, like when he was making fun of the guy for having a big head.
Right.
That was great. Sometimes he's a real douchebag, and he was being his douchebaggiest that day.
Yeah.
He was just real full of Dickens in a not fun, cool way.
Nope.
So he was like basically, threatening everybody and saying he was going to fuck him up. And then he got on the ice in the third period and he cross-checked Sean Walker in the back and knocked him down. So Avenging Angel Logan Stankoven cross-checked Tom Wilson in the back, despite being 6 inches shorter or 8 inches shorter and 50 pounds lighter than Tom Wilson.
Yeah, Stankoven don't care.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
He's like, that's why we called him the honey badger sometimes in Dallas. Like, he just doesn't care. He doesn't, size is inconsequential to him.
Absolutely.
So Tom Wilson went after him, not caring that he is a tiny, tiny man.
Yeah.
And the refs broke it up, and both of them got kicked out of the game with 10-minute misconduct. Mm-hmm. But that didn't stop the fighting. There was many, many more fights. I think the final one was when Jalen Chatfield performed a really dangerous leg sweep on Connor McMichael, who didn't have a helmet on at the time.
Like that one.
Yeah, no, overall I was on the Kane side, but that was like not cool.
No.
So, but the Department of Player Safety in their infinite wisdom decided it was fine, no supplemental discipline. So the Canes will be facing the Caps again on Thursday of this week, and I'm pretty sure it will be a bloodbath.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully they get some refs that know how to, like, I don't know, manage a game.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not ideal. And yeah, like Bettman was in the building.
Right. He doesn't care.
Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I would want to be good at my job if like the commissioner was in the building, but...
Yeah, no, it was mayhem, and I was unimpressed. Like, I've come around on fighting.
Yeah,
but
have.
like none of that was good.
No, it was all like very dirtbaggy and just like, it was just very like emotions were high and like, oh, I'm losing and I'm mad about it. Yeah. So I'm going to say a lot of mean things and tell you you're ugly and some other things that I'm not going to repeat because they're misogynistic. It was
certainly on mic there.
Yes.
Picking up on Bush's mic with Tom Wilson yelling across the benches.
Yeah, saying some things that were very misogynistic, and I didn't appreciate them.
And also not great chirps, which Paul Maurice would have been disappointed because he said that it's a lost art for him this week.
Yeah, they're like, be funny, be clever. Don't just like be stupid about it.
Right. They all need to take lessons from Marchand or something.
Yeah. Or like take an improv class, something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But overall, I was unimpressed. And I do think Chatfield should have got a supplemental discipline for that, even though I was on his side.
Yeah.
And apparently he's not a fighter, whatever. I don't care. And I don't care about who started it. Like, no, bad move, supplemental discipline. But as we heard the Canes announcers on the subsequent night, they trust those player safety guys because they're all ex-fighters themselves. So they certainly can determine intent, as they've proven throughout the season.
I just rolled my eyes so hard I saw my own brain.
Yeah. So
FYI.
Anyway.
Well, on Friday, the Caps played Chicago, and Ovi scored 2 more goals that game, which tied Gretzky's goal-scoring record. And that was pretty cool to watch. We had that game on.
We saw that.
And he actually could have probably broken the goal scoring record that night. But when Chicago pulled their goalie, Ovi did not go out on the ice because he did not want to break the record on an empty net goal.
That would be lame.
That would be pretty lame.
That'd be lame.
I get it. I totally understand.
Yeah.
There was like his coach on the bench going, "You sure you don't want to go out?" And he's like, "Absolutely not, dude."
Right.
Like, it's like, yeah, fair enough. A new kid, Ryan Leonard, did score his first NHL goal on the empty net. And it was actually a pretty cool goal. He like stripped the puck at the blue line and skated really fast and got it in. And it was awesome.
What a team to come into, right? Like,
yeah, scoring your first NHL goal on the day that your team captain ties the record.
Right.
Ties Gretzky's goal scoring record.
Nuts.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This was Friday. He just signed with the team on Monday.
Yeah. What a week.
And then after the game, Gretzky came down to the locker room to congratulate Ovi, and he shook Ryan Leonard's hand.
Yeah.
Like, how do you top that? Like, where do you go from there? Like,
I don't know.
It might be too much too soon.
It might be. He needs to
come down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Luckily, it's like near the end of the season, so he'll maybe have the off season to like decompress a little bit and be like, okay, this is really not normal.
Yeah.
But I mean, good for him. He seems like he's having a great time, and he's really adapting very well. He plays a very physical style of play, which fits very well with the Caps.
I was going to say, none of these ELC boys that we've seen have seemed like wildly out of place.
Yeah, they don't tend to usually make it into the lineup right away if they're not pretty close to NHL ready.
Yeah.
So, but he's exceptionally good, I would say, from what I've seen so far. Chicago did stay on the ice to shake hands with Ovi after the game, which was a pretty class act. Mm-hmm. Ovi was mic'd up, and so I did get to see Spencer Knight, the goalie, say, "I'm sorry, bro," but then he followed it up with, "I'm glad I didn't let the last one in."
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny. So I liked that.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Like immediately, he was like, "I'm sorry, bro. I'm glad I didn't let the last one in."
Yeah.
There was no pause.
Forever, that's tied to your goalie career.
Yeah, exactly.
And now that's tied. Who was the goal today?
Well, so today the Caps played the Islanders, and yeah, we watched the first period, and the Caps were down 2-0. We came down kind of at the start of the second period to start getting set up to record, and then I had the game up on my phone, like I said, because we were going to just have it up on mute in the background just to keep an eye on things. And then before we had everything ready, I saw some celebrating happening, and I was like, oh shit, it happened.
Yep.
So we went back, and yeah, sure enough, it was on the power play about 12 minutes and 45 seconds into the second. Ovi scored the goal, the record-breaking goal. Mm-hmm. It was primary assist from Tom Wilson and a secondary assist from Dylan Strome.
Oh, nice. So they both got in on the action.
They did, which felt very fitting because they've definitely been his bros for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. And yeah, I mean, pretty much the whole game just stopped for a while.
Yeah, they started rolling out carpets.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a whole mid-game ceremony happening.
Yeah, no, that was they've obviously been ready to do that at any moment. And Bettman's been going to the games and Gretzky's going to the games. So
Nicholas Backstrom's been traveling with the team.
Yep.
It was funny. He scored the goal and then he just turned around and he just dived on the ice. He did like a belly flop on the ice.
Yeah.
And
it looked like he was going down a water slide.
It did, or a slip and slide. Yeah. He was beaming,
that's what I'm
though.
trying to say.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
Not a water slide. That'd be a weird way to go down a water slide.
Yeah, I feel like that's against the rules.
Yeah, they'd be like, no, you can't go like that.
That's our liability insurance is not going to cover that. Sorry, I was raised by a lawyer. Anyway, he was beaming. He was really, really happy. His teammates were ecstatic for him. He was just swarmed by his teammates. His mom came down, his wife came down, his kids came down, Gretzky came down, Bettman came down. Like everybody's just seems very happy for him.
Yeah.
It's just really nice. It was really nice. It was pretty emotional, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it was going to happen and it was just a matter of time, I guess.
Yeah. And Ilya Sorokin was in the net, which Ovechkin had never scored on him before.
Just add one more to the list.
Just one more goalie to the list. I guess if you're going to let him, if he's going to score one on you, you might as well be the important one.
And he's Russian too?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
He's also Russian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun. It was fun. It was notable.
Yeah. You were into it.
I was into it. You are tired. So
yeah, it's fine. Whatever. History. You're like, we get to watch history. It's like, yeah, everything's history. I don't know.
Yeah, but this is like hockey history, which is way less stressful than like the regular history we're seeing every day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is history I can celebrate, not history I have to be like embarrassed to tell future generations about.
Yeah.
So I'll take that any day. So that's the Capitals week. They were very, very busy. And things are still happening. The game is presumably back on. I don't know.
Maybe not.
That celebration might still be happening.
Man, I'd just wrap it up and I'd be like, they win.
Right?
The Islanders. Be like, they can have it. It's
That's
fine.
cool. Yeah.
We already clinched whatever. We're going to go out for drinks.
We're all set. It's party time.
And they're in New York too, which is, I mean, it would have been cool at home, I guess. But I feel like New York's a pretty good place to celebrate.
Yeah. And there seem to be plenty of Capitals fans in the crowd.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think everybody was excited
yeah, even the Islanders fans. I mean, the whole arena was chanting his name.
Yeah.
It was, again, it's history. It's a cool thing to be a part of.
Cool.
So, I mean, I guess if you're a whole hockey fan, if you're half a hockey fan, it's kind of whatever. But
yeah,
for me, it was really neat because I'm a nerd.
Yes, you can say you saw it in the future and I'll just be like, oh yeah, that happened.
Right. I don't know who I'm going to tell because my kid doesn't care. Nope. And you were also there and you didn't care that much either. But I was there and I saw it and the internet people also saw it and we'll all celebrate together.
No, it's not that I didn't care, but I don't know.
Yeah, you just weren't that invested, and that's fine.
I've also been up since 4:30 this morning.
You have been, and that's your own fault, and I don't have any sympathy for you.
Fair enough.
So we did have some other news this week. There is a 5-year-old cancer survivor named Luke who got to meet Macklin Celebrini through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And Mac spent time with Luke before, during, and after a practice. And Macklin said it was an honor to be chosen, which is really a sweet way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like he was, like Luke was the one doing him a favor by hanging out with him. And there was a great video that came out where Macklin was like, do you want to fight? And Luke was like, yeah. And they dropped the gloves and did a little play fighting, although Luke was landing some real punches, I think.
Yep.
And that went on for a few minutes until Will Smith and one of the other Sharks broke it up and put them both in the penalty box. And then they were in different opposite penalty boxes, banging sticks on the glass at each other.
It was
adorable.
It was the best.
It was so cute.
Yeah. And they broke it up when Celebrini started pull his jersey over him, like he was gonna do I think that's a band fighting move, right?
Right, exactly. They're like, okay, it's time. They're just kind of standing there waiting, okay, we're gonna jump in at any point.
Yeah.
It was just adorable.
Super cute.
They continue being the cutest team in the NHL.
Yeah.
By a landslide. Speaking of the Sharks, Tyler Toffoli got put on a line with Smith and Celebrini. So now we officially have the sleepover line.
Yeah.
When they were interviewed about it, Celebrini said, it's going to be good. I'm excited. And then 5 minutes later, Smith said, I'm excited. It's going to be good. So those kids clearly share one brain cell.
I think so.
Yeah. It's a really happy brain cell, but it is one brain cell nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, once you've only got one, just enjoy it.
Exactly. Just have a good time with it. Just bat it around like a little balloon.
Yeah.
The St. Louis Blues have now won 12 games in a row.
Jim Montgomery, out of control, right?
Yeah. No, I feel like that Ralph Wiggum "I'm in danger" meme, because like I feel like they're getting hot at the worst time if you're a fan of any other team except for the Blues.
Yeah, for sure.
They're getting momentum at exactly the worst time to get momentum if you're not a Blues fan.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm not feeling good about it.
I don't have any opinion on the Blues.
That's also fair and valid. The playoff picture is starting to look a little clearer in general. So the following teams have clinched their spots: Winnipeg Jets, Washington Capitals, and Dallas Stars we already knew. We can add to that the Vegas Golden Knights, Toronto Maple Leafs, Colorado Avalanche, LA Kings, Carolina Hurricanes, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Florida Panthers.
So basically everyone we assumed would make it to the playoffs.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah. Teams that have been eliminated, most of them are pretty expected. The Ducks, the Kraken, our beloved Flyers have been officially eliminated. The Preds, the Chicago, the Sharks, we knew about that. And kind of a surprise, or at least it would have been a surprise this time last year, the Boston Bruins.
The Boston
Bruins not making the playoffs, officially eliminated. Eliminated before the Buffalo Sabres.
Before the Sabres.
The Sabres are still not officially eliminated.
That's pretty wild.
Like, they probably won't make there's no, I don't want to say there's no chance, but there's like a 0.003% chance that they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, but yikes, that's going to be a first round exit if it happens.
But yeah, getting eliminated before the Sabres is rough.
That is not a good look for the team. And it's not a good look that you fired the coach that is taking a team probably to the playoffs all of a sudden.
That is on a 12-game run and is now maybe tied with or has passed the Wild in points.
I think they maybe have, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's,
Yeah, so.
Not a good look.
Nope.
Anyway, hire Torts.
Hire Torts for Boston. Yes. Torts for Boston.
For Boston.
That's our hashtag campaign.
I like it. Do people still do hashtags?
I don't know.
Thing? I
haven't been on social media since 2014.
That's a very good point.
Facebook changed the way I could sort my page, and it wasn't by like recency of post, and I was like, I'm out.
That's true. And you committed to it, so good for you.
Yep, I sure did. I doubled down. I said, nope, no more.
I respect it. Well, I guess let's talk about our teams then, shall we?
Yeah, I guess there's nothing else.
There is some other news, but
we don't care about it.
I mean, I was really sort of focused on the Capitals all week. I think most people were.
It was a quiet week for us in hockey terms in general, sort of.
Well, yeah, our teams didn't play that much.
Right.
So I think we were kind of doing other stuff a little bit.
Yep.
I took at least one night entirely off of watching hockey just to give my poor family a break.
You did.
I did. It was really hard.
We all appreciated it.
You're welcome. And so self-sacrificing.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to watch Food Network.
Sometimes you just got to put on a little spring baking championship. So the Flyers on Monday played the Preds. Garnet Hathaway finally came back to us.
Yeah, that's great.
It was great. He had missed several games after being concussed. And this was actually his 600th game. So
nice.
It was a nice milestone.
I missed that.
You weren't really around for the pre-show too much.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he was interviewed during intermission, and he basically said the reason he was out so long is because he plays really hard, and he didn't want to come back until he could play the kind of hockey that he usually plays. Like, he wanted to play his game.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
He's going to beat up people.
He's going to beat people up.
He doesn't want to worry about his brain while he's beating people up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He needs to make sure his brain's all good so he can hit the people.
Yeah.
And get his face hit.
Yeah.
So he was back, and it was great. Al brought up the point that if Garnet Hathaway had been in the locker room, maybe things with Torts don't devolve the way they do.
It's an interesting point. I mean...
Yeah, it's not anything we can really know for sure, but it's like, if we have more sort of assertive veteran players in there when all of the shenanigans are going down.
Yeah.
I think I added an extra syllable in shenanigans, but that's fine.
There's a lot of N's in that word.
So many N's.
Yeah, no, that could have been. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll find out in the future. I can't remember who was saying it, but like they're like, the hockey world gossips. We'll know what happens if it happened eventually.
There are rumors going around that Torts said to Cam York that if he re-signed with the Flyers next season, that Torts would bury him.
I mean, that sounds like something he would say.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And yeah. So again, can't confirm or deny. Those are just the rumors that I've heard. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yep.
So moving past it.
Yeah. I'm still looking for a new mentor.
I know.
That mentor is not Bradshaw.
No, he is not. He's a perfectly nice guy.
He is.
He doesn't have the spice you're looking for.
I'm not looking for spice. I'm just looking for less knows while he talks.
Okay, that's also fair.
I watched an interview with him. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give him a fair shake because I've seen enough of his interviews, but I don't necessarily stick around to the end. 56 knows in an 8-minute interview, or maybe a 10-minute.
That's a lot. That's even more than the filler words that I would use.
I was so distracted, I felt inclined to go back and count them.
Yeah, that's a problem. Multiple
knows in a single sentence. Anyway.
Well, they hired him to coach hockey, not talk good.
Yeah.
So back to the game. Monday, the Preds came to Philly to play the Flyers. And Philly was playing pretty fast and loose in the first period. Michkov had a really great breakaway chance. And Brian Boucher pointed out that the team seemed to be encouraging Mich not to so much worry about the defensive zone and just to get back to the other end real quick so they could get him the puck.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really, as a team, trying to rally around maybe getting him back into the Calder race at this point, just to have something positive.
Something to do.
Yeah, something to rally around, which is nice. They just kind of maybe want to let him play all out and have some fun at the end of his rookie year.
Right.
Like the vibes do already seem to be a lot better.
They do. It doesn't feel like Flyers hockey per se, but it feels good and it's entertaining to watch at least.
Yeah, and Flyers hockey can be rough on a body. Like let the boys' bruises heal a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not worry about our play away from the puck. Let's just play with the puck.
Yeah, that's okay too.
Right.
Like a two-way game also involves offense.
Sometimes.
Right? I mean, theoretically.
I don't know. I'm no hockey coach.
That's true. It was actually a pretty fun game, and there were some decent offensive chances, but it did remain scoreless until halfway through the first. And then Ryan Poehling scored, but that was actually the direct result of some really great playmaking by Michkov. And then 5 minutes later, some of the Flyers got stuck on the ice for a long shift, and the Preds managed to tie it up. Zachary Leroux seemed to be yapping at TK a little bit at the next faceoff, but TK was ignoring him. And then on that same shift, the Flyers scored again.
Yeah.
Michkov was trying to make a shot, and he just lost the puck, but it went right past a Pred and over to Jamie Drysdale, who put it home.
Yeah.
And that was just a case of like Jamie Drysdale being more assertive with his positioning, and he just put himself in a good place to get it. So
reading the ice,
doing the thing. And then that's about where my notes end, because that was it for scoring. Nobody else scored for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so, watching those Predators, not the
most scintillating hockey.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're bad, but definitely not great.
It's like everybody's doing their own thing, and it's not like a team.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't get it.
Next year will be interesting.
Yeah,
with them, I guess,
or not. Probably not.
I mean, we're never going to be following them.
No,
they don't have good colors. Their name's a little weird.
Right? Yeah. No, times have changed. It's time for a rebrand.
I would definitely change that name.
Yeah, it's not okay.
The Nashville music. I don't know. Just something else. Anything else.
It's not. It's just, it has connotations.
It does.
So the Flyers did win that one 2-1. And then they had pretty much the whole rest of the week off until Saturday when they went to Montreal to play the Habs. And during the week, the Flyers also signed this time it was an undrafted player, Carson Dorwart, to a 2-year ELC after he completed his 3rd season playing hockey for Michigan State University.
Yep.
Which people in my family have gone to MSU, so go Sparty. And they showed him on the bench before the game, and Delorier was holding a container of smelling salts under his nose, and you could hear him go, woo!
Yeah.
So
there's been a lot of smelling salt action in the last week.
Yeah, something about the Flyers, they don't hold their own smelling salts. They hold the smelling salts for each other, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's like...
Is it more effective if you don't know it's coming or you can't move away from it?
No, I think it's some kind of courtesy in the drug world or something.
It's just team building. It's I'll hold your salts, you hold my salts.
Well, maybe, I mean, if you don't, we should get some and just see what they smell like sometime.
Do you want me to barf? Because that's how I will barf.
I just want to see what it does to my brain.
You just want to see the kind of face I'll make, if it's my gin and tonic face.
Yeah, but maybe when you smell them, you would drop them. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess we could see. Maybe that'll be a bonus content in the summer.
Yes.
Oh, God, please no.
The smelling salt episode.
No, thank you. That one's going to have to be like a video one, though, because I don't think you can just listen to the smelling salt episode.
No,
nobody wants to see that.
Nope.
So that one was also a pretty uneventful game. Ryan Poehling scored in the first period, but otherwise the first two periods were scoreless.
Yeah, Poehling's got the hot hands, huh?
He sure does. No, good for him. He did get interviewed about it, and they're like, hey, what's been unlocking your offense? And he's like, well, they traded a lot of people, so I have more ice time.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a good comment. They showed his ice time under that interview, and it was like only at 4 minutes because it was so early in the game. But like, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
He was like, no, I can be skating more and I have the puck more and I'm there more. So
yep.
Valid, totally valid. Sam Ersson actually looked pretty good to start, but things really started to unravel in the third. First, there was a goal from Brendan Gallagher, and then Layden Hudson had a preposterous goal off of a sharp angle shot.
Yeah, that's...
That one was tough. That one was, at first you were like, did that go in? But the refs immediately called it.
No, I mean, that was like a Bedard type goal.
It was. It didn't help that Ersson kind of jostled the net off its pegs a little bit.
Yeah.
Which maybe allowed the goal to go in.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting him to shoot that.
No, probably not. So
and definitely not expecting it to go in if he did shoot it from there.
Absolutely not. Nick Suzuki had a shorthanded goal, which really wasn't a surprise because every time the Flyers went on the power play, the Habs looked way more dangerous.
Shorthanded every time.
Yeah, there was a 4-minute power play early in the game when Michkov got hit in the face and was bleeding.
Yep.
And the Habs had like 3 or 4 great scoring opportunities, and the Flyers were just scrambling the whole time.
Yeah, no, it was a little bit more like the Flyers we'd seen in the last 7 weeks or whatever.
They definitely looked like they were floundering a bit.
And obviously Montreal was hungry for it.
Yeah, they're still in that playoff race. So they want to get in there.
You did say the Flyers D looked pretty good though. I mean, the first 2 periods they were having trouble making anything happen, and then third came out and Montreal's like body slam.
Pretty much, yeah. Tyson Forrester did score with 40 seconds left in the game, but it was too little too late, and the Flyers went down 3-2. And then this was the game that officially knocked them out of playoff contention.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So
Shawzy's first loss.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's had a good run so far.
Yeah, 75% win rate or whatever.
And Team Tank's going to be happy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was bound to happen.
It was. Yeah, you can't ride the momentum forever.
Yeah, and like I was saying too, like they got pretty lucky on the schedule post torts.
For sure.
So.
Yeah. And yeah, although
one of them they did beat Montreal, but
that is true. But
that Layden Hudson, holy smokes.
He's really good.
Oh my goodness.
He's crazy to watch.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's very noticeable.
Very noticeable.
Yeah, he's one of those ones where even you notice him. You're like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, no, his skating, all of it.
Yeah, no, it's good. He really puts it together.
And obviously his shots. Holy smokes.
Yeah, right? No, it was pretty insane. He's a D-man.
I know.
That's crazy.
He's like Cale Makar. He's like, yeah, I play defense. And he puts up like the little quote fingers.
Except he is actually good at defense too, like Cale Makar is. Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was it for the Flyers. It was a very light week for them.
Yeah.
So shall we move on to the Stars?
Yeah, was it? Yeah, that was it.
That was it for the Flyers.
It was a real quiet week.
That's why we could take a night off.
Yeah.
So on Monday, the Stars played the Kraken in Seattle. And this was the second time they'd played the Kraken over the course of a few days. And it was the last game of a 4-game road trip. It started like your typical Dallas Stars hockey game when Seattle scored on our backup goalie just over a minute in on the very first shot of the game. Experienced Stars hockey. That's how we do it.
It does seem to be a common occurrence.
Yes. But we did get one back a minute and a half later when Duchesne tipped in a shot from Marchment. And the two of them have been doing okay without Sagan. But if we can get him back for playoffs, like that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And it is looking like he might be back in for the last 2 or 3 games of the season. So
that would be good to give him a little warm up.
It would be.
Prior to people bulldozing him.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I don't look forward to them trying to murder him during the playoffs. Not even a minute after that goal, Esa Lindell lobbed a puck from the other end of the ice to get it to Wyatt Johnston, who was fresh onto the ice off the bench. And he easily made his way through two players and scored a goal. So at this point, we were less than 4 minutes into the game. Seattle had 1 goal on 2 shots, and the Stars had 2 goals on 3 shots.
Yeah.
So it's just frankly very silly, which again, on brand for Stars hockey.
Yeah.
With about 8 minutes left in the first, Mason Marchment got sent to the box for hooking. He thought the Kraken player went down pretty easily and made a diving motion with his hand, which people thought was a little ironic. But as a Mason Marchment's attorney, I would just like to point out that if Mush had fallen down that easily, he would have absolutely gotten called for embellishment.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's learning to adapt.
Listen, a diver knows a diver.
Diver recognized diver.
Yeah, exactly. The second period was pretty uneventful scoring-wise, but some things did happen. Partway through the period, a Kraken player basically rode Mush face first into the goal and took it off the pegs, and somehow that was not a penalty. But near the end of the period, Bischel went to the box for a high stick, but on the replay, it showed pretty clearly that if anyone's stick was near the Kraken player's face, it was CC, and also the stick didn't actually make contact.
Oh, right. Yeah, they reviewed that, right?
No.
Oh.
No, they just sent him to the box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was one that got reviewed at some point. Never mind.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, probably. We watch a lot of hockey.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, no, but no goals happened regardless, and the score remained 2-1 in favor of Dallas. Mm-hmm. And then after that, things got a little fuzzy for me because this is a late game. And
oh, yeah, I went to bed probably, didn't I?
Yeah, you might not have even watched the second, honestly. I made it through the second, but I did not watch the third. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep before the third even started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're the next day, you're like, I'm going to go back and watch the game again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to take notes this week because I've gotten out of that practice, and I wrote Stars game started fast, and that's the only thing. That's the only thing I wrote. So I think I didn't make it very far into the game.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that game didn't start till 8:30 our time, which is about your bedtime. So yeah, that's a little rough.
I got to wind down.
Yeah, no, I did go back and rewatch the game sort of like in the background while I was working, and I rewatched the third period, and Granlund scored an empty net goal with about a minute left. So I am liking that our new acquisitions can hit empty net goals. That's an area where we've been lacking.
Yeah.
So I'll take that. And we won that game 3-1 and swept the road trip. So hooray, Stars.
Yeah, and Granlund's been good.
He's been good. He's been really solid.
I was a little like, when he came over.
He started more with assists, but he's been scoring more too now. And he's actually slotted in really well with Mush and Duchesne. I still would like to see Sagan come back with them in the playoffs, hopefully, because that line just has insane chemistry. But
he's got chemistry with Duchesne because they used to play together.
They did on the Preds.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. So, former Predators. Speaking of the Predators came to Dallas on Thursday to play the Stars. And I often refer to the Dallas Stars as ADHD icons, and this game was the perfect illustration of why. Because they showed up late, they half-assed it, and yet they still managed to look like goddamn geniuses by the end.
Right.
The first 39 minutes of the game were straight up bad. And that's really been kind of a pattern lately with us, where they just don't play anywhere close to a full 60 minutes. We've been doing a lot of fucking around, and we haven't been doing a lot of finding out.
Right.
And it's going to catch up with us.
It seems like that kind of stuff catches up in the playoffs.
It does. I've been hoping that it starts to catch up before the playoffs, so maybe we realize that this isn't sustainable.
Like, you can't just show up in the third.
Yeah, you have to play the whole game.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing.
I feel like Pete has probably mentioned that to them.
Yeah, like, take your Ritalin and show up on time. Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys, because it's just, like, we're still managing to pull out wins in spite of ourselves, but, like, we are our own worst enemy. Like, we're self-sabotaging, like, nobody's business.
Yeah. I wrote they looked uninvolved in the first, and then the second, the Preds looked less good, or the Stars looked less bad. I'm not sure what was going on, but it wasn't a good look on anybody. Yeah, no,
the Preds looked great the first period, but I couldn't tell if it's that like them looking great or if it's just the Stars looked really, really bad.
Yeah,
really terrible.
Yeah.
In the first period, we did get an early 4-minute power play when Sam Steele rammed his own face into a Nashville player's stick, and it drew blood. The DJ did play Bad Blood as the player headed to the box, which was actually kind of funny.
That's like the only Taylor Swift song I like.
There you go.
Yeah.
We looked like ass on the power play. We got off maybe one shot.
Tell us how you really feel.
I will defend the Stars for a lot of things. It was really bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It wasn't okay. We maybe got off one shot in 4 minutes, a 4-minute power play.
Yeah.
And Nashville just looked like a much better team, which is frankly embarrassing. And in that first period, they outshot us 17-5. And we were frankly lucky that we exited the period tied 0-0.
Right.
Like, it could have been way worse. This was,
yeah, for sure.
This was definitely a case where the goaltending held us in for the first 2 periods.
Yep. Sometimes that's got to be the way.
Exactly. 5 minutes into the second, Steven Stamkos opened the scoring for Nashville with an even strength goal, which is not his forte.
Yeah.
So that's also not great. And as the second was starting to wind down, we still didn't have an answer. And at this point, we were still being outshot 24-14. And the only reason we weren't down more is because Jake has just been on a heater lately, and he's been looking really solid ever since he shut out Minnesota.
Yep.
But with 36 seconds left, Mikael Granlund had a gorgeous deflection into the net off of a shot from Duchesne. So we made it out of the second, tied 1-1. So we had a little life.
Yeah, that was a sick angle.
It was so good. It was beautiful.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
Pavelski-esque.
Right? Yeah.
It was gorgeous. Super memorable. Loved it. And it was the juice we needed, because the third period started and the Stars were like, oh shit, I totally forgot. I have a paper due in 20 minutes. Let me pull some bullshit together. And 39 seconds into the third period, Marchment and Duchesne went into the offensive zone, and some Nashville players stripped the puck, but Duchesne fought them off and got it right back and passed it to Mush, who put it home.
Yeah.
And we got our first lead of the game.
It did feel like they were the only ones doing anything in that game.
It did. That whole line.
Yeah.
That line was, at least up until that point.
Right. And then the Preds started just crumbling.
Yeah, they were like, oh no, the Stars remembered how to play. We're just B students. So, and then 5 minutes later, the top line actually had a very sexy little goal. And I've been calling them the rated R line for now, because they all have R names. Like
I couldn't come up with anything
Rope.
better. So
it's a work in progress. I'm still workshopping it. But this goal was really driven by Rantanen, who brought it in from the other end and blew past Stamkos to get it into the zone. And he passed it to Robo, who got it to Rope, who put it home. And the three of them are starting to click. It's still not perfect, but I'm starting to see some chemistry.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'll allow it.
You're still not sold.
I'm not sold. I'm not not sold, but I'm not also sold. So
right.
Yeah, I'm on the line. I'm thinking I'd buy in if there was some kind of discount or something, some kind of deal.
That's fair. We did pay full price for Rantanen, and that's scary.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a matter of adjusting expectations. I think the Stars are we're very hippy-dippy commune. Everybody does everything. So I think we're going to see Rantanen more in a playmaker role than in a pure shooting role.
Hey, I think that works too.
But I think as far as playmaking goes, he does slot in really well with Robo and Rope.
Yeah, for sure.
When they're all on the same page, which isn't always, but when they do click, it's beautiful. They can do some really beautiful things.
Yeah, for sure.
They just haven't had time to fully develop the chemistry, but it is coming.
No, I think so. And like I said, when he first showed up, I'm prepared to give him until next season.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit. He's been through it this year.
He has.
Too.
So.
He's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
A few minutes after that, Maverick Bourque absorbed a pretty gnarly hit, but he still managed to feed the puck ahead to Wyatt, who was on a breakaway. And he absolutely bamboozled the Preds goalie and scored a goal for the 6th consecutive game. It was just again, snake charmer kind of goal.
Yeah.
It's mesmerizing.
That Johnson boy's good.
Shut up. Yeah, no. Once again, the national broadcasters cannot get his name right. This wasn't a national broadcast game, but we did have some of those later.
It wasn't?
I don't think so. I think that was Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic goal. Just really, really
yeah.
I mean, indescribable, really. You really have to watch it to understand how cool it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few minutes after that, Bischel saw an opening and went in deep. Rantanen passed him the puck, and he scored Dallas's 5th goal of the game and the 4th in this period alone.
Yeah.
And he actually scored his first NHL goal against the Preds, and that was a really ugly loss. So this was nice for him to get a repeat in this game, where we actually did a lot better.
It was the same exact looking shot, too, on the one that he got before.
It was.
If you overlaid them, you'd be that's the same shot.
Exactly, coming in from the same direction, same point. Super cool. He looked really happy. I always love that for him. Something that I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed it watching the replays. Immediately after he scored, you can see Robo and Rope run into each other and fall down.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. I would have laughed.
Yeah. Well, the Dallas Stars are the silliest team in the NHL.
Yeah.
We just can't make it through a game without skating into each other.
Yeah.
Bish was very happy. He collided with the glass in front of the fans and somehow did not knock down the entire arena with the force of the collision.
The Richter scale jumped a little bit, but not all the way.
A little bit, for sure. There were some other notable moments throughout the game. Thomas Harley laid a huge hit on a guy, so he gets an extra Werther's original tonight. The refs do not get any grandpa candy because a Nashville player basically pile drived Blackwell into the ice, and somehow that ended up with both of them getting penalties.
Yeah, I don't understand the refs here.
It's insane.
Like in any game, honestly.
No, they're all... Maybe they all had head injuries. I don't know. It's really bad. Really bad.
I'd go get that free LASIK if I were them.
Yeah, LASIK keeps saying that they'll give them free LASIK.
Right.
And they seem to be very serious about it.
No, they seem very serious.
Yeah,
I'd be like...
They're like, we are not kidding. This is a real promotion.
Maybe they all see 2020. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like it.
It really does not. They also put Bish in the box near the end for a trip that didn't happen, and he was very unhappy. And if you make my murder baby unhappy, you make me unhappy.
Yeah.
So bad reffing, once again, the story of the NHL this week.
Yep.
And then we move on to Saturday, where the Penguins played the Stars.
Yeah. And we just had to, upgrade our Max subscription to watch this game.
Yes, we did.
Lost our Black Friday deal.
We lost our Black Friday deal.
Which we had to get to watch hockey in the first place.
Yeah, and now we have to pay full price.
Yeah, no, extra full price.
Extra full price.
Oh my God.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Anyway, Siri, play My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. That's the theme of this game.
Oh, is it?
It is. It was not a great game.
No.
Before the game, I posted online, it's a Stars weekend matinee on a national broadcast. Let's see what new ways the boys can find to be silly and embarrassing today. And boy, did they deliver.
Yeah.
So in the first period, the Stars were up a man about 30 seconds in when Chris Letang went to the box on a holding penalty. But yeah, after a good stretch, our power play is starting to look pretty underwhelming again. And we got maybe 2 shots on goal the whole time.
Yeah. Well, Steve Spott's probably just trying something new.
Yeah. Sucking. Then Chris Letang got out of the box and knocked Mason Marchment down legally, and Mush, in true drama queen fashion, responded by poking his stick directly into Letang's skates and knocking him down.
Definitely a trip.
Which is like the very definition of a trip.
I know you're his attorney, but that one's gonna hold up in court.
As his attorney, I would encourage him to plead guilty and hope for lenience. Yeah, no, that one was pretty indefensible. And yeah, it did prove to be pretty costly because he went to the penalty box, and on the power play for the Pens, Sidney Crosby scored a goal off of an assist from Malkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just like classic Crosby.
Classic Crosby. Yeah, they looked reasonably good, and the playmaking and the vision that they had, they just seemed a lot hungrier there.
Yeah, they had. Well, we also just gave them so much time and space on that play. It was really preposterous.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Sidney Crosby. It's not okay.
No.
It's just not good. Fortunately, Dadonov managed to break free and tie it up halfway through the first period.
Yep.
And then he would also score the next goal in the game a little over halfway into the second when Dallas was on the power play. So slight Steve Spott redemption.
Sure. Well, yeah, you got to get the fourth line out there.
Yeah, I guess. So with about 8 minutes left in the second, Rope Hintz skated into DeSmith pretty hard and hit him in the head and neck before tripping a Penguin player and heading to the penalty box. Mm-hmm. DeSmith was visibly shaken and skated over to the bench to regroup for a moment before taking the goal for the power play. And he actually had some phenomenal saves, so kudos to him or whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, he actually had a really great game, and it was a really scary looking hit. So I'm impressed he managed to shake it off because it really could have been bad news bears.
Yep.
And the Stars are playing again today. So we're on a back-to-back, so we didn't want Jake to have to go in.
They're playing again today?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, I did.
Oh, boy.
That's why we're recording early.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. They're supposed to play at 1, but it's going to be delayed because of the Caps ceremony.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because it's on Max.
Right.
Which is... Yeah, actually, yesterday's wasn't on Max. Today's is on Max. That's why we have the subscription again.
Oh, well, we had to upgrade for the Caps or something.
We did.
Yeah.
It's true, we did.
Anyway.
They
They keep taking my money.
They do. It's the worst. So he kind of bailed us out in that power play. But 20 seconds into the third period, Crosby scored again to tie up the game. But then Dallas took the lead right back when Dadonov scored his third goal of the night, giving us a daddy hattie.
Hattie. I don't like it.
I don't love it, but I do like a rhyme. So
yeah,
it was only the second hat trick of his career, and the last one was also against the Penguins. So Dadonov hates Penguins.
He does.
Confirmed.
Those flightless birds, not his forte.
Nuh-uh. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to let Dadonov have nice things. Halfway through the third, Ilya Lyubushkin went to pick up the puck along the boards and just fell down. The Penguins ended up with the puck, and Brian Rust scored his 200th career goal. I guess Rantanen's falling down disease is contagious.
Yeah, you get near him.
Yeah.
Things go wrong.
You just start falling down for no reason.
Yeah, I don't think that was Lyubushkin's best game. I noticed a few other just unforced errors, and I was like, ugh, no, not that.
Pretty much the defense in general was terrible.
Yeah.
Honestly, him wiping out with small potatoes, because with less than 2 minutes left, Harley was trying to play a puck and almost lost it. And Cody Ceci went in to help, and they ended up running into each other pretty hard. The Penguins picked up the puck and scored, putting the Penguins up 4-3.
Yeah.
Dallas called a timeout, and you were like, don't worry, Steve Spot's on the case.
Yeah,
then I laughed until I cried because...
They all gathered around Steve.
Yeah, I was like, well, we're fucked. And I was correct because, pretty quickly Sid scored the empty net goal for a hat trick of his own, and the Penguins won 5-3. But overall, it was a really shitty game from the Stars. Like, the Penguins outshot us 40-24.
40-24, that's not good.
It's not. This has been multiple games where the other team has shot like around 40 times or more.
Right. And all the scoring was Dadonov.
All the scoring was Dadonov for us this game.
Which I can only imagine Pete didn't like, because he wants everybody to contribute and have that depth and not rely on Dadonov to win the game.
Donatov's been on a 17-game scoring drought and was healthy scratched like a week ago. Right. So, like, if he hadn't stepped it up this week, like, we would have been extra terrible looking.
Yeah.
Like, he kept it from being completely embarrassing on paper, but if you watch the game, it was pretty embarrassing. Like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, not good. Well, I mean, luckily they'll just, move on, and Harley won't like beat himself up over it. We watched Thomas Harley's post-game interview, and he was despondent. Like, he was, you could barely hear him. Like, he was just so like down on himself. Like, he felt like they wasted Casey DeSmith's game. Mm-hmm. I'm only calling him by his real name because he did do a really good job, by the way. And he got hurt. And also because Thomas Harley clearly felt bad that they let him down. Because, he did it. He did a fantastic job. But, this is multiple times now that the defense has let 40 shots go through over the last couple of weeks. That seems like a lot of that is a lot of shots.
It's a lot of shots.
Even for a team that's playing well, that's still a lot of shots.
It's a lot of shots.
Yeah.
So, we also found out during this game on the broadcast, Pete DeBoer talked to Leah Hextall, and it sounds like Miro Heiskanen will not be back for the first round of playoffs.
Well, that's not great.
It's not. And I'm starting to think that maybe they knew he was not going to be back for playoffs. And maybe they were like, you know what? Let's just get this Rantanen guy, and we're just looking to the future. Like, maybe it's not worth getting another D-man if Miro's not coming back, and we'll just do our best.
Yeah, just give Harley all the minutes and put all the weight of the world on him.
Yeah, Pete, to his credit, did say that he doesn't want Harles to be too hard on himself. And he says mistakes are inevitable when you're asked to do as much as the Stars ask of him. But
sure,
Harley is like famously bad at compartmentalizing. Like, there's articles from around the time he was drafted where he's talking about, like, when he was 13 and 14, like, he would come off the ice like crying when he would, when a goal would get scored, when it was like his responsibility. So I feel really bad for my old man. Yep. I want him to take care of himself emotionally.
Yeah. He needs to go to Cabo or something.
Yeah. Let the man go to Cabo with Wyatt Johnston. Oh, boy. I don't know. He needs a vacation. He needs some extra originals. Yeah. He needs to smoke a pipe. I don't know. Whatever old men do to relax.
He does need to lighten up a little bit, though.
I've
never seen an interview with a professional NHL player that wasn't like they'd be disappointed and upset, but like there's still some positivity, and look to the next game, and he was not there, not saying those words.
Yeah, distraught isn't even the right word, because it was like too like drained of energy to be distraught.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. It was a really bad scene.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for him. And yeah, it was just the offense didn't show up. Like you can't put it all on the defense.
No, for sure.
Yeah, the defense wasn't great. But,
well, I mean, you can put a pretty good chunk on the defense with 40 shots.
No, I'm saying like the defense wasn't great. They definitely should have done better. But if the strategy was, well, our defense is bad, let's get a good offensive player in here to make up for it, then the offense needs to show up, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So you can't just have it count all on like Dodonov to do everything. So
yeah, I don't know if this was the game either. Speaking of the offense, since they were absent, but Jason Robertson appears to like have started to eat some Wheaties or something, because he was looking fast, and I've never said that or seen that.
I think that was in the Preds game, but yeah, he was zooming around.
He was zooming. He had the zoomies.
Yeah, he had the zoomies. Yeah. No, that was the game when that top line was really clicking.
Right.
I did find it interesting in this game, partway through, Pete started double shifting Rantanen. So he was playing basically on the top two lines.
Interesting.
So I feel like he was just trying to generate some offense that way. It just didn't really work. But he was trying something. And yeah, Mikko does have like the endurance and stamina to play those like hefty minutes.
Right.
Which is good. It just wasn't effective this time. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm still holding out hope. I actually do have a list of some positive things about the Stars.
Okay.
Because I don't want to just be like a jerk about them.
Yeah.
Because I do love them.
Debbie Downer.
Yeah,
there.
Exactly. So some positive things about the Stars. Rope Hintz was named the second star of the week by the NHL after getting 9 points in 4 games.
Cool.
He had 2 goals and 7 assists last week. The vibes behind the scenes have seemed really good. The Stars don't have the most like active social media presence involving the players.
Nope.
But we have been getting some fun pictures on Instagram. Last week, Mush got the special boy hat and posed for a picture where he was giving Otter a piggyback ride. And then after the Preds game, Jake got the special boy hat, and they recreated the photo with him giving Mush a piggyback ride. Yeah. So that was really cute. Fun little inside joke.
Yeah, it was like one of those what's different between these two pictures thing.
And it was basically nothing. Like the person getting the piggyback ride had a backwards hat on, and the person giving the piggyback had the special cowboy hat on. And they were grinning like lunatics, and it was very adorable.
Yeah.
They're total bros, and it's really cute. Mikko Rantanen wrangled all the Finns together for a post-game picture, and they were all very giggly and cute, even Rope Hintz.
Yep.
Except for Granlund, who was just locked in on the camera and all of the pictures.
Yeah.
And it was very entertaining. They also brought in Matt Dumba as an honorary Finn for 1 pick.
Nice.
The Stars' social media admins discovered that Cody Ceci is a quarter Filipino and got a photo of him with Robo and Dumba. So now I think maybe we have to start with a Filipino mafia too.
Okay.
So why not? One of Leon Bischel's former teammates from Sweden, who is from Texas and I think has ties to the Stars, stopped by a practice with his family. We got to see a video of Leon Bischel smiling at a toddler and picking him up and carrying him around. And I don't know why it's so cute when a large baby picks up a small baby, but it is.
Yeah, you loved that.
I loved that. It was just so sweet.
Yep.
And then speaking of Bish, the NHLPA put out a rookie showcase Q&A, so we got to learn a little more about him. He says his personal goal song would be a Swiftie song.
Yeah.
So the internet loves that. Before a game, he gets motivated by myself. He said.
That's my favorite.
It's so good. It's so good. It's like, what motivates you before a game? Myself.
Yeah.
Like, just so self-possessed.
Yeah. It's like stoic, like intense. I love it.
Yeah. It's like, I don't need any external motivation. I am motivated by myself.
Yeah.
I love it. And then if he was picking a card from a deck, what card would you like to pull? He would like to pull a Bischel card.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I just think we all need to learn how to believe in ourselves, like Leon Bischel believes in himself.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's just great.
Yeah.
I think he's neat.
For sure.
Yeah. So, it was a bad game for the Stars. And despite winning some games lately, we haven't looked great. But the vibes behind the scenes do seem to be good. And I do.
And maybe
like
that's the problem.
Oh, God. No. No, we want good vibes. Look at the Sharks. The Sharks have good vibes.
I know.
I know they're not a good team, but.
Good vibes, terrible record, huh?
No, it's okay.
No.
I like it. I like good vibes.
No, that is good to see them gelling. And you also told me that they're retiring the blackout jerseys.
Oh, yes. The game against the Preds, they wore the blackout jerseys. And the rumor is that that's the last time that we will see the blackout jerseys.
WTF. Those look great.
Those jerseys slap.
Yeah. They look like firemen out there.
You know, I didn't like the jerseys at first. I thought that they looked like Monster Energy drinks.
Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah.
And then it just wears you down.
Yeah, no, they really grew on me. They're kind of sick. I bought myself a Johnston blackout jersey when he signed his extension. Yep. It's really nice. It's going to be a bummer. But that means that it's going to be replaced by a third alternate jersey. So that means I can get another jersey.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up, guys. Come on. I have good aesthetics. Call me. Yeah. So I don't know. It's been a week. It's definitely been a week.
So who are they playing tonight?
They are playing, I think, the Wilds today. Like, puck drop's supposed to be like nowish, but I'm sure it's delayed. So
Sure.
Yeah, after this, I'll be going up to watch that. So
I'll be going up to take a nap.
Yes, you will. Well, before we do that, though, we did put together a little game time for the week.
Yeah.
So like I said, we did take a night off from hockey this week because there's pretty much three things that we watch on TV these days. And that is hockey, Jeopardy, and baking shows.
Right.
Specifically,
baking competition shows.
Baking competition shows. Specifically, we'll watch Food Network baking shows if and only if Jesse Palmer is hosting them.
True.
And we'll watch The Great British Bake Off.
Yeah.
And
that's basically it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm pretty much out on Tournament of Champions at this point. I'm up to my eyes in fury.
Hockey is like enough competition for me.
Yeah.
Like that's good. Yeah. Well, the Great Celebrity Bake Off is also airing right now. And we've seen some clips on YouTube of that because Amelia de Moldenberg was on and she's great.
Yep.
And yeah, so we like Bake Off a lot. I got you hooked on that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's just so like calming.
Oh, yeah. God, I wish all shows were like that.
Oh, my God. Seriously. It's like Xanax in a show form.
Yeah.
The thing about regular Bake Off is that they have several archetypal characters that they seem to cast over and over again.
They do.
And in an earlier episode of the podcast, we talked about which archetypal rom-com characters certain hockey players would be. So this week, I decided we should revisit that concept with some of the people you frequently find on the Great British Bake Off.
Cool.
So I came up with some very specific archetypes.
You did. You sent it to me way ahead of time.
I did, and we still only did it this morning.
Yeah. I will say this is my best attempt at doing this.
Yeah.
A game.
All right. Well, I'm
pretty happy with all my responses, and I'm glad we took off the Welsh one because I couldn't come up with anybody for that.
Yeah, I just put the Welsh one on there because there's always a Welsh one, but that was just too confusing.
Yeah.
Because there's not any Welsh NHL players. And
not
also
that
was too on the nose, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with our first one. This one is the young sporty guy who's just learning to bake and has natural talent, but is in over his head. Mm-hmm. Who did you come up with for this one?
So initially I thought Celebrini or Hudson, but I don't feel like they're in over their heads.
True.
So I went with Michkov.
Oh, I could see that.
He's a little in over his head. There's certain aspects to the NHL that he hasn't fully caught up on. So yeah, he's young, he's sporty, he's got stupid natural talent, but he's not fully baked yet. He's got a star. No, not saying that.
No pun intended.
Nope, not saying that one.
I went with Wyatt Johnston for that one.
Okay.
I know he's super talented, but I don't know. I just feel like I could see him on Bake Off and he'd be like, I don't know what a choux pastry is, but like, I guess I'll give it my best shot. And then he'd just totally crush it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just kind of where my brain went with
it. I can totally see that.
Yeah.
And he is kind of that way too. I feel like in life, like he's kind of like a new baby deer out there, you know?
Yeah. And where he like thinks that he's like kind of got everything under control, but he's still a baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's like trying to raise all those rookies. And it's like, no, you're a teenage father. Like, right. Calm down. So the next one I came up with is sort of a close variation on the other one. So this is the young university student who grew up baking with his grandma and is very good at it. And he practices diligently during the week, even though he's also preparing for exams in some esoteric subject.
Yes.
All right. This one I went with a different Dallas Stars player.
Oh, really? Okay.
I did. This one's Thomas Harley to me.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It's, I think, just the old man energy. I can just see him being like young and hanging out with his grandma and baking stuff instead of like hanging out with his friends.
Yeah. And he's into some weird like niche aspect of like world history where it's like nobody cares about that, but he's real into it.
Or like astronomy or something real weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I went with Chris Tanev.
Ooh, I love that one.
Right?
Yeah, he's definitely got those vibes.
How about that?
Yeah, no, that was great.
That man's reading books and shit.
He does. He's a book reader.
He's a very interesting man.
He's so interesting. I miss him so much.
And he's diligent AF.
He's so diligent. He's the diligentest.
Exactly.
He broke some like shot blocking record this week too.
Did he?
So it might be like a franchise record or something.
Was it with his mouth?
Probably. He can't really eat the baked goods because he don't got no teeth, but he's wonderful. I mean, they do call him a biscuit eater because he catches all the pucks in his mouth. So it's perfect.
Yeah, it's Biscuit Week.
It's Biscuit Week. All right. Number 3, I have the blue collar guy who works in trades and is also a girl dad who's in touch with his emotions and models healthy masculinity.
Yeah.
Who'd you come up with for this one?
Dodonov.
I like that one.
Yep.
I can see that.
He's a blue collar guy. Like as soon as I read that, he immediately came to mind. And I do think he is a good role model. And I think he's balanced. I don't know if he is, but I think it at least. So it must be true.
Yeah, there you go. Just the impression that you get.
Yeah.
This one, I cheated a little bit. This isn't an actual player.
I have that song in my head now. Oh, jeez.
This one I cheated a little bit. I didn't go with a player. I went with a team.
Oh, okay.
I told you that I did that, so you can't act surprised.
No. I think I know who it is.
Who do you think it is?
I bet it's the Flyers.
It's not.
Oh, my God.
No, I went with the off-ice Washington Capitals.
The off-ice Washington. Oh, wow.
Because on ice, I would not say that they are models of healthy masculinity.
No, certainly not.
But off ice, they're very emotionally obsessed with each other. Most of them are girl dads and there was like a video that came out. They talked with most of them talking about why they love being girl dads.
Yeah.
Dylan Strom recently dressed up as a prince for his daughter's princess themed birthday party. They are full on girl dads. They just have girl dad energy. But I like that on the ice, they're real tough and maybe kind of too douchey.
Right.
But off ice, they're very sort of emotional about each other and their families.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's nice. It's a nice balance.
Real jerks at work, but real great dudes at home.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's that energy.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where I went with that
Nice.
one.
I like that.
The next one I have is the mom who wants to do something for herself for a change. I went with William Nylander for this one.
Oh, I like that.
I just feel like he is just really tired of constantly having to manage his children, Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. And he would just really like to do his own thing for a little while.
He just wants to let his hair down.
He just wants to let his hair down and his chest hair down.
Yeah, and take his shirt off.
And take his shirt off. And then Paul Hollywood is like, I'm sorry, you must put your shirt on in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's where I went with that one.
Yeah. I went with Rantanen.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah, he's living his best life. He says, this is what I want to do. He's like, if I can't do that other thing, which I can't because they kicked me out, then I'm going to go do this thing, which I like.
Exactly.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah, he's just looking out for himself at this point and screw what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one it's very specific, but
this is a very specific one.
So this is the anxious, super high achieving guy who has an impressive career and speaks 6 languages, who unexpectedly makes it to the finals and has a chill, supportive boyfriend at home cheering him on.
Yeah.
We probably went for the same person with this one.
We definitely didn't.
We didn't?
No,
Okay.
you're gonna be shocked with what I've chosen here.
Okay, I need to hear it. Tell me.
So this is only based on the 6 languages.
Okay.
But it's Savannah Jed.
Okay, I could hear that. He does speak a lot of languages.
Yeah. So, and unexpectedly makes it to the finals, I feel like is a Rangers thing, even though they kind of make it there generally, but I don't know.
Nope, that is valid.
Yeah.
I went the obvious route with this one. It's Connor McDavid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure.
Super anxious, chill, supportive boyfriend at home being Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
It's, that's him.
Yep.
So there's always one.
No.
And yeah.
The languages threw me off.
Yeah.
But anyway, Savannah Jed.
Yeah, I guess I thought of them like metaphorical languages, just like,
oh yeah,
there's always
sure.
somebody who just like has so many like weird, like specific skills or whatever. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of where I went with that. The next one I have is much shorter. It's the Chaos Granny.
The Chaos Granny.
There's always like a chaotic grandmother.
There sure is.
I went with Marc-Andre Fleury.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I get that one.
He's old and chaotic.
Oh, that's funny.
Can't you just imagine him like pranking the other bakers and like the judges not understanding him?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's throwing flour on somebody, or somebody's getting flour exploded in their face or something.
And he's getting distracted halfway through a bake because he's too busy pranking the other bakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have fun. The interactions with Paul Hollywood would be funny.
Yes, for sure.
I think Prue and him would have good vibes, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I went with Kachuk, but I went with Brady Kachuk because he gives me more Granny vibes than the other Kachuk.
I could see that. Yeah. He feels like he's a Granny's boy.
He does. And obviously chaos. That. I think Kachuk means chaos in wherever that name is from.
Yeah, Ukrainian, I think.
Is it Ukrainian?
Yeah. The eccentric European.
Interesting.
I was kind of, basing that on sort of like the older ones, but like just really any eccentric European will
there's
do.
generally
There's different variations.
There's generally someone from Spain or Belgium or somewhere.
Italy.
Yeah, and they're a little eccentric.
Yeah, if it's a guy, they tend to be like older and like they drink tea.
Right.
Or like have crazy hair. And if it's a lady, they're like the goth one.
Right.
So,
God, she was great.
She
anyway.
was great. So who did you go for with this one?
I went with
Slavkovsky?
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
He is pretty eccentric.
He is eccentric. I just remember seeing one interview where they asked him about something. I can't remember what it was. He's like, we don't have that where I'm from. And it's like, no, you definitely do.
Yeah. No, it was like maple syrup.
Yeah.
Something
He's like,
that.
I don't know what that is. We don't have that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
I'm pretty sure you do.
You definitely do.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's just in his own world, and it's awesome. I went with Patrick Laine. I think just mostly based on the outfits.
He was on my list.
I like it.
Yep.
No, he just screams eccentric to me.
I ruled him out for some reason, and I can't remember. But he
was on the short list.
He was on the short list.
I don't know. I love Slavkovsky for that one too, though.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot funnier, honestly. All right, the next one is the quirky one who has an artistic approach and or a unique take on flavors. Actually, kind of brilliant until the week their ambition exceeds their capability and they go down in flames.
Yeah.
I went Trevor Zegras for this one.
Oh, okay. I don't have much of a reference for him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent and a lot of skill, but he doesn't always like execute.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I went with somebody who I think is on the same team.
Oh, yeah?
Trouba.
Yes, Trouba is on the same team now. Yeah.
Look at me knowing things.
Yes, check you out.
But he's artistic.
He is artistic. That's true.
And obviously he went down in flames with his team and now he's on the Ducks.
That is very, very true. That's a pretty literal take on it.
Right?
And I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's good at chicken wings.
Is he?
That's when he elbows people in the face. They call it the chicken wing.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right. The engineer.
The engineer.
Who'd you pick for the engineer?
I struggled with this one because it didn't have a lot to go on.
Yeah. No, usually like the engineer is like just kind of a serious person who like they're some kind of an engineer or scientist in their life and they kind of bring that attitude to the baking.
Yeah. And the showstopper comes and they're like, I'm going to build a skyscraper. And then it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. And they're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, so I struggled with this. I did look up people with degrees, and there's a couple guys I've never heard of that like have aerospace things and this and that. And I ended up just sticking with Dreisaitl, just German engineering.
I can see that. Yeah.
Playmaker, support character. He builds I don't know.
Yeah,
So.
I like that. I went with Sidney Crosby.
He was my. I also considered him. I was looking for like a playmaker type, but then the Germanness overruled Crosby.
With Sid, it was more the like routines, like how he still wears the same shoulder pads that he's worn for like 18 years or whatever.
What do you think those smell like?
Disgusting. Everybody knows.
Smells probably like smelling salts.
Ugh, worse.
Maybe that's how he gets all his energy at his.
Yeah, that's it. He just has to take a whiff of himself.
At his advanced age.
Yeah, right. No, he just is so like set in his routines that it just gave me like very sort of engineer vibes, I guess.
Yeah.
This super pretty girl who's insecure about her baking, even though it's amazing.
Yep. I think we probably went with the same one. I'm going to call it right now.
I forgot to write something down.
Oh, we definitely didn't go with the same one.
All right. I'm trying to think. I did have somebody in mind, though. I'm trying to think of who it was. I think I was thinking of Jack Hughes.
Oh, that would be okay.
Except for I ruled it out because I don't think he's insecure about anything.
He's pretty,
very secure.
He's maybe a little too secure.
Yeah. Who did you choose?
I chose Sagan.
Oh, I could see that.
He needs the reinforcement.
He does. Yeah. No, I can see that. He comes across very confident, but he needs a lot of validation.
He does.
He does.
That's why you marry your stalker.
Exactly.
They're always going to validate you.
Exactly. No, you're not wrong about that.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel like I came up with somebody, but I did not write it down. So, but I think your answer is perfect. So I think we're just going to have to go with that.
Sounds good.
All right. And then the last one we have is the walking disaster.
Yeah.
That one's Mason Marchment.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, obviously.
Who would you go home with for that one?
I went with Rempe.
Oh, he's also kind of a walking disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, it's got to be Mush, the drunken baby giraffe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's just a hot mess of a human. And that's what I love about him.
Yep.
It was almost ranting just on account of the falling down all the time. But I just feel like Marchment's really like a disaster, like through and through.
I don't know what game it was, but he had a good fall this week. I just saw some guy on his back, like going across the ice. And you were like, oh, that's ranting. And I was like, is it really? Because I assumed it was, but I kind of caught it out of the corner of my eye.
I think that was yesterday. And yes, it was definitely. I was like, oh, there goes ranting. And you were like, oh, I was thinking that's who that was. Yep, that was that. Well, that was a fun one. I liked that game.
Yeah, that was good. I wasn't keeping score, but I did pretty well.
I think you crushed that one.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've done that.
Yeah. Maybe Mitch Marner. Maybe that's who I was thinking of for the super pretty girl who's insecure.
That would check out.
I think that's maybe what I was thinking of. But I don't know. I really like your Sagan answer. I think that was a good one.
Yeah.
And your reasoning is impeccable. Impeccable. Well, it was a really good week. I liked it. So thanks for watching history with me today.
You're welcome.
And thanks for doing a podcast, even though you've been up since the crack of dawn.
Oh my God.
All right, let's wrap it up so you can take a nap, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be the same story for the next 3 podcasts. I'm going to be exhausted when we do this.
He's doing a class. It's his own choice.
Yeah.
Don't feel too sorry for him.
I did this to myself.
He sure did. And that's the end of regulation for this week's episode of Ice is Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at Ice is Slippery Pod. You can also email us at iceisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we would love to get suggestions for games and hear your hockey hot takes. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box.